So President Trump is continuing to be cucked by the terror state of Saudi Arabia. Defying Congress, Trump sets $8 billion plus in weapon sales to Saudi Arabia. Wow. U.S. President Donald Trump declaring a national emergency because of tensions with Iran swept aside objections from Congress on Friday to complete the sale of over $8 billion worth of weapons to Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Jordan. He's quite literally just bypassing congressional oversight and congressional approval and saying, yeah, I'll just declare an emergency and give weapons directly to Saudi Arabia. Could you imagine, for even a second, buying into the argument that it is imperative and it is an emergency and we just have to turn over massive amounts of weaponry to the Saudi terror state? It's an emergency. We can't even wait to give the terror state billions of dollars in weapons. We can't wait for it. We got to go now. I got to bypass it. I got to go now. That government that puts people to death for sorcery and for witchcraft and apostasy, and they're murdering moderate Sunni scholars. We just covered that on the last show. And they're putting to death women's rights activists who fought for the right to drive. You know that government? It is just absolutely imperative that we arm them right this second. You know that government that's doing a fucking genocide in Yemen? And that is the word that should be used. That's why I'm using it. Yeah, that government that's doing a genocide in Yemen, we got to get them weapons. We got to do it. I can't even wait for it. They need it now. By the way, you're telling me that there isn't also a personal level to this when it comes to Donald Trump? You're telling me that the money that Saudi Arabia has been funneling to him through his hotel in D.C., you're telling me that doesn't impact his decision here? I mean, when they funnel him hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, in a variety of ways, not just at his D.C. hotel, that is a violation of the Emoluments Clause, and you bet your ass that I'm sure that impacts his decision-making here. Totally. Trump used to say that Saudi Arabia did 9/11. Now he's invoking emergency powers to give them more weapons. Hey, by that logic, I guess Donald Trump is pro 9/11. You said Saudi Arabia did 9/11. Now you're rushing to give weapons to the people who did 9/11. 2 + 2 is 4, dog, right? What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? I didn't make you do it. You did it. Jesus Christ, man. So the Trump administration informed congressional committees that it's going to do 22 military sales to Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Jordan. And the sale includes Raytheon precision-guided munitions, Boeing Co-F-15 aircrafts, Javelin anti-tank missiles, which are made by Raytheon and Lockheed Martin, and, many other defense contractors are also involved. They literally go on to talk about how the industry is excited and they're booming, and he's great for that industry. It's time for everybody who hasn't admitted it yet to admit it. Donald Trump has become the ultimate status quo establishment president. That's what he is. He ran on being anti-establishment. Now he is the establishment. He took some steroids and injected it into the establishment. That's what Donald Trump did. That's his entire legacy. I will do whatever the establishment wants. And like a little fucking pathetic dog, he just wants that pat on the head and he still hasn't gotten it. He does everything they want and they still don't give him that little pat on the head. We like you, Donnie. They don't like him even though he still gives them everything. They love him on policy. They hate him for all the other stuff, the ancillary stuff, the mean tweets and whatnot, because he's not presidential. But all he wants is the establishment approval. I said it before, I'll say it again. I don't think anybody has ever psychologically analyzed Donald Trump better than I did when I said he wants to be Hillary Clinton. For all his ripping her and going after her and being aggressive against her, it's because he's jealous of the fact that the establishment loves her. Oh, why can't I get the approval from the elites on the cocktail circuit in Washington, D.C. and New York City? Oh, I want that. Well, he's giving them everything they want. As he pretends to be for the little guy. Hilarious. I know. I'm sure there are coal miners in West Virginia and factory workers in Kentucky who are just like, oh, Donald, please use your emergency powers to give Saudi Arabia more weapons. We must counter Iran. I wake up in the morning and I go, ah, the Grand Ayatollah is on my mind. He's taking food off my plate. Goddamn Grand Ayatollah. Goddamn Hassan Rouhani. What are the chances that your average American even knows who Hassan Rouhani is, if they've ever heard that name? What are the chances? Very low. But this is what they're doing. Remember, we are the aggressor. We pulled out of the Iran deal. They continued following it. We slapped sanctions back on them. They still continued following the Iran deal, the nuclear peace agreement. We escalated. Then finally they go, okay, you just forced our oil exports to zero. You got it. Now we're enriching again. And now we're going to turn around and go, oh, how could you? The fuck do you mean, how could you? It's dishonest and it's disingenuous, and that's what I can't stand about the way our government functions.